nohints.com.
How's it going, YouTube? This is Nasrez here from No Hints, and today I'm going to be bringing you my first impressions of the game For Honor. For those of you who don't know about the game, there are 3 factions, each with their own unique classes that vary in playstyle and difficulty. I played the beta on multiplayer for a few days when it was out, but I have to say that the actual game is much better. One thing that I truly liked and can't wait to get into more is the story-driven campaign. The first mission that is played is about how you become a warden, which is the knight in the game that uses a giant 2-handed sword. Another thing that truly drew me into the game was the graphics. I feel that they are very crisp, greatly detailed, even down to the smallest piece, including the armor that each class is wearing. I'm going to be truthful and state that I haven't tried the multiplayer due to me waiting for Eris to get the game next week so we can dive more into the features such as multiplayer as the sword swinging duo. Another thing that I truly like that For Honor brings to the table that many games are lacking in today's age of gaming is a co-op campaign. To me, there is nothing more fun than being able to play through the story of a game with your buddy and getting to experience something together. I feel that games are great bonding experiences. Now back to For Honor. Something else that they did very well was the combat. There is a system where you use the right analog stick to match your opponents to block their attacks. After you block, you can then go on the offensive in the same manner by moving your right analog stick in a different direction than they're blocking, and vice versa. This is how you block and how you attack in the game, which is very different compared to other games out, and it takes a lot of skill to do. The game does have different classes, as I brought up earlier, that have different skills. There are the tanks with shields that are generally slower but can take more damage as well as dish it out. Then there are your counterattackers that specialize in being quick to dodge an opponent, then attack them with a quick flurry of strikes. Then of course you have classes that fall in between these two that use giant 2-handed weapons that are not the slowest nor the fastest, but because they are in the middle of the pack when it comes to offense and defense, they lack a little bit in each area, so they're not going to hit as hard, but they're also going to be able to block. And the way that this is differentiated in the game is that with a counter attacker, they only actually have a few seconds to parry an opponent's attack. So if they're attacking from the bottom right and you got to move your stick down to the bottom right, then you have to do it and time it properly. If you wait too long, your bar goes from white to gray on the block and you actually miss the block or parry. And this game, much like many others, also has gear for each class, and the more you play certain ones, the better the gear you get is. So you also level up each class, which is on a ranking system, and for each match that you play and win, you get a piece of gear for. So you get common gear, there's rare gear that affects your weapon, such as, for example, with the knight that uses the shield, they can get a handle for the flail that they use. The only downside that I possibly have to this game is it loses community over time. I feel that it has an amazing idea of people playing knights, samurais, and Vikings, as well as having different game modes. It's just one of those games that I don't see the community lasting with. I could always be wrong though, and I honestly hope that I am. I'd really like to see this game strive in today's age of all gun games. I'd really love to see a game that involves different melee factions and people playing them against each other in game modes such as domination, team deathmatch, different things like that. And also the season pass is going to be adding more new characters and classes for each faction, which I'm really excited for. The only other thing that I do have an issue with is the historical context back in the game. I understand that video games are video games and they're not always meant to be realistic, but Ubisoft has always done games that are accurate, in my opinion, because they are the ones who make Assassin's Creed, and with the Assassin's Creed games, they are very accurate to historical context of that said time frame. And what I mean by this is that if you know anything about Vikings, then you know that they were small and agile. They pillaged villages. They were meant to go in, get off the ship, and be quick. They were on ships most of their time because they traveled. They were known for sailing on these giant ships, and that's what they did. They were fit people, and when I say fit, I don't mean like an NFL linebacker on steroids, which is how they look in the game. They are giant, very massive, and they remind me more of a barbarian from a Diablo type game than an actual Viking. The same also goes for the samurai, who are using swords that are I would say about 10 feet long. Samurais, as you know about most Asian cultures, are more fit people. They're thinner. They're not big, bulky people. And the samurais in this game are very big and bulky, and their armor is very heavy. And yes, they had heavy armor, but they weren't big and bulky people. They were still a healthy, skinny weight. They weren't, 225 pounds of pure muscle. And this is more of just a personal thing now and doesn't make me like the game any more or any less. If you haven't played the game, but you like knights, samurais, or Vikings, or just looking for something new to try, give this game a shot. If you prefer games like Call of Duty where you can run around and just shoot people without really having to worry about anything else, this game may not be for you. And when I say that, it's not that I'm bashing Call of Duty, it's just Call of Duty, all you really have to worry about is where your teammates are, where their teammates are, aiming with the left trigger, shooting with the right, throwing grenades, and using your special abilities. There's nothing ever a time where you have to worry about, oh, I have to move my right stick down to block his attack or block his bullets, where this game does have that. So for that reason, it does have a higher learning curve, in my opinion, than other games of this caliber. And as always, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, follow us on Facebook, our Twitter at Official No Hints, and let me know what you think of For Honor in the comment section below. As always, this is Nasrez signing out.